Yesterday we were discussing the opulence and the greatness of Ayodhya city. So in detail we discussed how well planned city it was, that the length of the Ayodhya city was 12 yojanas and the width of the Ayodhya city was 3 yojanas, and it was on the banks of Sarayu river. There were Raja Margas, there were highways, there were special places for markets, well organized markets, and there were tall buildings as tall as mountains, and there were special military weaponries, and there was special fort like this we heard. And we also discussed that there are 8 ministers who assist Dasharatha Maharaj: Drishti, Jayanta, Vijaya, Surashtra, Rashtravardhana, Dharmapala, Akopa, and Sumantra. And it was such a prosperous state. Everything was excess. Especially the soldiers were as powerful as great people who can walk into forest, invite Simha, Vyaghra, Varaha, lion, tiger, and the wild boars, and with bare hands they would actually fight with them. Every soldier in Ayodhya city knew the art of Shabdavedi. They need not see their target. Simply by hearing even smallest sound, they can actually release arrow and kill that person. And it is said that Dasharatha Maharaj was 1,000 times more powerful than these soldiers. And there were Brahmanas living in the city who were expert Veda Shadangani. They were expert in the Vedas and other Shadangas. Like this, there were Brahmanas, highly qualified Brahmanas, and Swayam, Vasistha Rishi, one of the Sapta Rishi himself, was residing there and guiding. So this was the opulence of Ayodhya city. And in that city, this Dasharatha Maharaj, who comes in a very celebrated family lineage, starting from Lord Brahma himself. Brahma's son is Marichi, Marichi's son is Kashyapa, Kashyapa's son is Surya, Surya's son is Vaivasvata, Vaivasvata's Vivasvan, and his son is Vaivasvata. Vaivasvata's son is Ikshvaku, and that is Ikshvaku dynasty, in whose dynasty Sagara and his children Dilipa, Bhagiratha, this kind of great kings have appeared. So with all these things, Dasharatha Maharaj was not happy. Sri Valmiki Ramayan says, so much is there, why he must be very happy. Powerful soldiers, such a prosperous city, such great citizens, there are no problems, everything, nature is cooperating, everything is there. But Dasharatha Maharaj still was not happy. The reason was, here it is mentioned, Tasya tvevam prabhavasya dharmajnasya mahatmanaha sutartham tapta manasya nasid vamshakaras sutaha. It said that he was such a great man, prabhavasya, very powerful, dharmajnasya, always following on the path of the dharma, Mahatma, he is such a great Mahatma, Dasharatha Maharaj, right? But even though all these things, tapta manasya, tapta, something was burning in his heart. Tapta comes from the word tapa. Now, in this season, if you go out, the April scorching hot, it's so hot. It's bothering, right? You can't be very peaceful and enjoy that there is something burning, right? It's like hot sun. Like that, something was burning in the heart of Dasharatha Maharaj. Tapta manasya. He was not happy. He was not peaceful. It was bothering him. Tapta manasya. What was that? Nasit vamshakara sutaha. Nasit vamshakara sutaha. Vamshakara sutaha. Dasharatha Maharaj was thinking, such a great family I belong to. Starting from Lord Brahma, Kashyapa, Marichi, all this Vivasvan, all great people. Unfortunately, I do not have Sutaha, son, who will carry forward this family to the next generation. This was bothering to him. You have to very carefully understand this, because in today's generation, nobody likes nepotism, right? So me, my family, my children, oh, see, Dasharatha Maharaj is thinking, my family, mera khandan, like that. No. In those days, it was a responsibility of a responsible king to give a qualified, responsible successor. You cannot simply dump the kingdom and just disappear. Oh, my job is over. No. If you are a good leader, one of the responsibility of a good leader is to appoint or make sure that there is another good leader after you. It's a very big task. It's a very big task. If there is no good leader, then whatever you have done, the next person will come and destroy everything. So the successor is very important. And in those days, except Kali Yuga, in other yugas, the successor system was through family itself. It was not because they want to retain the power and everything in their control only. No. Like everybody was assigned certain duties and responsibilities, and one of the responsibilities was actually to beget, to have a right successor after you. And it is not an easy task. Not like today, some useless child will be born and he will be appointed as a next successor, right? Like you are a cinema actor, you have some useless son or a daughter, and they will become your next successor. Or you are a producer and another useless fellow will be born, or a daughter, and they will take over. Or a politician. It's not like this. It is so important, a king or a queen. They don't have a choice like, oh, I like to marry whoever I want. Say, one of the responsibility is to give responsible successor, qualified successor. So for that, they have to marry another qualified person. It's a very different topic. Anyway, so Dasharatha Maharaj was feeling very sad that, okay, I am doing everything great. Everything is going on nice under my jurisdiction and I am taking care of everything, administration. But after me, who? Where is that next qualified, responsible successor? So this was burning his mind, right? Taptamanasya nasi dvamshakara sutaha. I want a son who will carry forward this great lineage, the great family system, right? Chintayanasya tasvaivam buddhirasinaha mahatmanaha. Chintaya. He was so much thinking. It was always bugging in his mind. Sutartham hayamedena kimartam na yajamyaham. So he thought, right now, this problem can be solved. I don't know how to solve this problem, but I think I have to please the Supreme Lord. See, this is the attitude of a devotee. You go through any problem, something is problematic, something is disturbing you. The way they solve that solution is, let me first of all take shelter of Lord Krishna Narayana. Second thing is, I will offer my prayers to Krishna Narayana. Third one is, I will make Krishna Narayana happy. That's where my job ends. My job ends by making God happy, pleasing the God. This is called yajna. Yajnartham. Krishna says in 3rd chapter Bhagavad Gita, everything should be done as yajna. Yajna means making God happy. That is the meaning of yajna. So there are different ways we can make God happy. Different people with different capacity, they think of different things to make God happy. So Dasharatha Maharaj thought, in order to make God happy, let me do yajna. And in Treta Yuga, yajnas were allowed. Yajna means where fire sacrifice. Right? In Kali Yuga, Sankirtana yajna is prescribed. Nama Sankirtana. Just now we were all singing the names of the Lord. That is called Nama Sankirtana. But in Treta Yuga, the fire sacrifice. So that was also recommended. So he wanted to do Hayamedhena, Ashwamedha Yajna, let me do. Why? So that God will be happy. If God is happy, anything is possible in this world. So he thought, and then immediately he called his minister, Sumantra, and he said, my dear minister, Sumantra, can you please go and invite Vasistha, Jabali, Vamadeva, Kashyapa, all those great rishis, please invite them. I want to discuss something important with them. So they all come on invitation, and then Dasharatha Maharaj, he opens his mind and discusses with them, and he says that, see, this is bothering me, this is something that is disturbing in my mind. So I feel that I should do Ashwamedha Yajna to make God happy and to get son if at all God wants to bless me. So immediately all Vasistha and the other sages, they were very happy. They blessed him. They said, oh, this is very nice. This is a very good idea. Especially any thought to make Supreme Lord happy is a very good thought. And you have thought in that direction. So it's very, very great. So yes, you should immediately take up this task of doing Ashwamedha Yajna. We will all prepare for it. They were very happy. See how much all the rishis, they were loving their king. The moment they came to know that Dasharatha Maharaj wants to do yajna, they are ready to work for it. They said, we will make the preparation for that. We want to see happiness on your face. This is how a king should take care of people in the society. Nobody is unhappy. Everybody is so happy with Dasharatha Maharaj, which is so unthinkable in today's world. How king can keep everyone happy? If you make some people happy, some other will be unhappy, right? So all that happens. So in this case, this sages, Vasistha, Jabali, and Vamadeva, this Kashyapa, they're all so happy. They said, yes, we will make everything we will take care, don't worry. So like this, they said, we will do everything, don't worry, like that. So when they all went back to make the preparation. But this Sumanta, so he remained there. He said, my dear king, I wish to tell something to you, which I know since very long time. I've been keeping the secret for very long time. I think now the time has come that I have to reveal the secret to you, Rahasya. I have some confidential information with me. He's the senior most minister, most experienced and most matured minister. He knows what to speak at what time. He knows the heart of a king. So Dasharatha Maharaj says, yes, my dear minister Sumantra, please tell me what you want to tell. He says, my dear King Dasharatha, when I was doing Purana Adhyayana, when I wanted to study Puranas, I was doing that Adhyayana of the Shastras, Puranas. At that time, I learned it from my Guru. My Guru heard it in one of the sabha, in one of the meetings of great sages. There was once a very confidential meeting. Very important rishis, sages had come, and that meeting, that sabha, was headed by Sanat Kumara. Sanat Kumara is the son of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma has got 4 children, brahmachari children, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara. They're extremely great people. Very, very great people. And so one of that is the Sanat Kumara. So he told in that meeting, in future, Dasharatha Maharaj, when he wants to get a child, when he wants to get children, only one person can help him. And that person is Rishi, a sage called Rishyashringa. Only he can help to get this child. So this is a rahasya, confidential topic they discussed in that meeting long back. So I knew this. I had heard it from my Guru. Right? So I want to inform you this. Because now you have made your mind. You want to do this Ashwamedha Yajna to get children. So this is the right time I'm telling you. See, he told that I knew this since very long time. Then why did he not tell all these days? Dasharatha Maharaj, He doesn't have children for a very long time. Why didn't he tell this? So one of the very important behavior of a servant is that you should not tell before you are being asked. Unless the right time has come, you should not simply go on, tell, reveal. So this is one quality. Nowadays, it's very difficult to get good servants. They will speak more than you. They have more experience, knowledge than you, right? So, that's how, but this is a very good behavior. That don't advise your master, your superiors, unless you're being asked for it. Right? Just simply having information is not enough to go and simply vomit that information. You have to tell at the right time when it is needed. So Sumantra, he told this. So Dasharatha was very pleased to hear this. Who is this Rishyashringa? Dasharatha Maharaj asked. Who is this personality? Right? Rishyashringa. Then Sumantra tells the history of Rishyashringa. See here, before we hear the history of the sage Rishyashringa, let us understand few points. King Dasharatha Maharaj is feeling bad that he doesn't have any children. Right? See, this getting child is not a very big thing in this world. This is an activity very common. Everywhere it is happening. Everywhere, for everybody, children are taking birth. It is not something unusual, something that never happened in the history. Only for Dasharatha Maharaj it is happening. It's a very, very common activity. So when such a thing, something which is very common in this world, when such things do not happen to us, we have to think at that time. We have to think. Something which is very easily available, something easily happening to everyone, which is very common. It is not that it always happens. Starting from Lord Brahma till Dasharatha Maharaj, nobody had this problem of who will be the successor. Everyone had their children. Right? Brahma, Marichi, Kashyapa, Vivaswan, then Vaivasvata, Ikshvaku, Manu, right? All of them. So only Dasharatha Maharaj has this. So we have to think. Something very easily available, commonly available, every time it happens. When that does not happen to us, when that is not available to us, it means there can be two things. One is that I am not eligible. Something is blocking. Something is blocking. Pratibandhaka. There is something blocking that. Right? Our next one is, there is something extraordinary going to come. Something extraordinary going to happen or going to come. For that, you have to do some extraordinary preparation for that. God wants to give you something special and extraordinary, and that requires you to do extraordinary preparation for that. So in the case of Dasharatha Maharaj, there was no pratibandhaka. He was eligible in all the sense. That is why in the first 2 chapters it was mentioned, Dharmatmanaha, Mahatmanaha. All kinds of great things are being spoken. There is nothing wrong with Dasharatha Maharaj. Then only the second thing is the criteria. What is that? Something very great is going to happen in his life. So for that, Dasharatha Maharaj has to do something very, very great. Some great preparation has to happen. Why? Supreme Lord is going to appear to Dasharatha Maharaj. That's an extraordinary thing. It will not simply happen like this. Right? We see in the history. To get Krishna as child, how much tapasya Devaki and Vasudeva did in their previous life. Isn't it? To get Kapila Deva, Supreme Lord, as the child, Kardaman Devahuti did so much tapasya. To get Pandavas as children, Pandu Maharaj and Kunti did so much of tapasya in Badarika Ashrama. So, always big things we get in our life only when we do big preparation in our life. When you take a big challenge. You're ready to do that big preparation. Isn't it? At that time. So, just like Devaki Vasudeva did so much of tapasya, Devahuti Kardamamani did so much of tapasya, Kunti Pandu Maharaj did so much of tapasya. Now Dasharatha Maharaj has to do. There are a lot of challenges involved in this. Just that, no, I have a desire, so my desire should immediately happen. No. Big things, especially Krishna wants to give you something very big. He will expect you also to do big preparation, big sadhana. Just see how much sadhana Srila Prabhupada did before establishing ISKCON. Today everybody knows ISKCON, Hare Krishna mantra, isn't it? World famous. It did not come just like that. 40 years Srila Prabhupada was working hard for it. Empty hand he went to America. 2 heart attacks. Alone in New York in America. And then Krishna gave this world famous organization. Hare Krishna movement. This ISKCON organization. Isn't it? So always the great things, the big things come when you do big preparation for it. Hard work for it. You cannot simply say, I will not do any hard work, I'll simply be sleeping and Krishna should give me, Krishna likes me, I'm his devotee. So ऐसे ही आना है, सब कुछ ऐसे ही आना है. मैं कुछ नहीं करूँगा. ऐसे बैठ के सपना देखूंगा, महाप्रसादम लूंगा और जाके फिर सो जाऊंगा. No, big preparation, sadhana, tapasya, hard work is important. Even if you are a very great devotee like Dasharatha Maharaj, who can become father of Lord Krishna? Dasharatha Maharaj must be a very great man. Even he has to do preparation, hard work, isn't it? So now we will go on seeing what all kinds of challenges are involved. So now Rishyashringa's story comes. This Sumantra says, who is this Rishyashringa? Only he can come and do this, it seems. No one else can do. No one else is eligible for this. God has selected. In Treta Yuga, if I have to come, only one person can invite me. Who is that? Rishyashringa. And the way he is born itself is so amazing story. Who is he? How he was born? So many lessons for our life Krishna has put in his life. So that we common people can take lessons. Right? So Rishyashringa is a child of another Brahma Rishi called Vibhandaka Rishi. Vibhandaka Rishi is the son of Kashyapa Rishi. Very great. From very small age, this Vibhandaka, father of Rishyashringa, is famous for his tapasya, adhyayana, and especially is famous for his brahmacharya. All other great sages, the rishis, they're so impressed with this boy, Vibhandaka, from a very young age. How sincere he was, how serious he was, very genuine he was, not interested in any materialistic thing. So what did this Vibhandaka Rishi do? So he finished his Swa Adhyayana, Tapasya under his father, Kashyapa Rishi, took permission from his father and said, I don't want to be anywhere nearby materialistic people. I want to completely focus on meditation, tapasya. I want no distraction. So please give me permission. I want to go some very secluded place and I want to do tapasya there. So his father gave him permission. Then Vibhandaka Rishi comes on the banks of Kaushiki Rishi, Kaushiki Nadi. This Kaushiki Nadi is presently called Kosi Nadi. Where is this Kosi? It's in Bihar. The original name of this river is called Kaushiki. This Kaushiki, we'll see if time comes later, we'll discuss in the future. This Kaushiki is the sister of a king called Kaushika, who later became Vishwamitra Rishi. So he went there and he found one Hrida. Hrida is basically a place inside the river. You know, when the river flows, sometimes it creates some place in between. and so both the side water will be there. It's not easy to reach that place. So he wanted to select that kind of a place so that there is no disturbance. Nobody should come. No human being should come. Isn't it? He's so serious. He just doesn't want any distraction for his tapasya. So in that place, this Vibhandaka Rishi. So he'll morning, little bit he'll come out of his ashram, do Sandhya Vandana, Snana, Japa, Tapa, Sandhya Vandana, and he'll go back, he'll be doing Adhyana, Dhyana, meditation. All those things will never come out. And strong brahmacharya. Brahman iti cha acharati brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means Brahman. Completely his desire is kaya, vacha, manasa, body, mind, words, everything is only interested in Supreme Lord. Nothing else. No other desire. That is called brahmacharya. No other attraction, no other desire. So like that. And so one day when he was doing his arghya, tarpana in the Sandhya Vandana, so there he saw one of the Apsaras called Urvashi. So this Urvashi, she's not an ordinary person. She's the daughter of Lord Narayana. She's daughter of Lord Narayana. This is a very beautiful story. Who is this Urvashi? So Lord Narayana, in his incarnation as a Rishi, Nara Narayana, they were doing tapasya. In which place? Badrikashrama. People go to Badrinath. This is where this Nara Narayana is there. So that is where this Lord Narayana with his Nara. Nara is the Arjun. In his previous life he was Nara. So he was doing tapasya there. And so there this Indra became little concerned. Because by accumulating lot of punya by doing yajna, dana, tapasya, you can become a challenger to that Indra's post. Right? So Indra did not want any contender. So what he does, sometimes he sends some people to go and disturb them. In case if they are not really serious, in case if they are not really resolved and being very strong and like that, so they will be distracted. So Indra sent some beautiful women, if they can go and actually distract them like that. So they came, Tilottama, and all of them they came. So they started dancing and kind of attempts to distract Narayana. So Narayana understood this futile attempts of Indra, but who can disturb Supreme Lord? Nobody can disturb the Supreme Lord. So he wanted to teach lesson to Indra. So what he did, Narayana just smiled a little bit. Just smiled. Kandar pakoti kamaniya vishesha shobham. When he smiles, even that sex god called Kandarpa, Manmatha, Cupid, he will also fall unconscious, seeing the smile of Krishna. There is a place called Madan Ter in Vrindavan, where Madan means this Cupid, Manmatha, fell unconscious. Right? That is the beauty. Kandar pakoti kamaniya vishesha shobham, vishesha shobham. Such is the beauty of Narayana. So that beautiful Narayana smiled and he simply pat like this. This place, this is called Uru. Uru means the thighs. So he just did like this and immediately thousands and lakhs and millions of the beautiful women came out. They were so beautiful, unparalleled beauty. Never ever in the history anybody had seen such beautiful women. And this in Sanskrit, this thigh is called Uru. This is called Uru. Because these women, they came from this Uru, they got the name Urvashi. This is how the Urvashi came. And all other Apsaras, Rambha, Tilottama, Menaka, they all had come to distract Narayana. So by seeing the beauty of Urvashi, they immediately covered their face out of shame. Oh, so bad. I don't know, city people might have not seen this night time, there's some insect, they shine. What are they called? Jugunu. Jugnu. So they shine, right? They look very beautiful. They look very attractive like that. So this Rambha, Tilottama, Menaka, they felt their Jugnu in front of the sun. You know, in the daytime, the sun, Surya, any Jugnu will be visible in front of that, Suraj, Surya? No, they felt like that. Who are we in front of this Urvashi? So they immediately covered their face out of shame. So Indra immediately came and Kshama Yachan. He did, I'm very sorry. I did not know that you are Narayana. Please forgive me for my this aparadh. So Narayana said, it's okay, fine, no problem. But don't forget this. So I'll give you one Urvashi. Whenever you see Urvashi, you should remember your mistake. So that's how one Urvashi remained and all the Urvashis went back into Narayana. So this Urvashi, most beautiful woman, she by the will of Narayana, it is a plan of the God, by the way. And she appeared there. And by seeing that Urvashi, this Vibhandaka Rishi is not just Rishi. There are many grades of Rishis, by the way. And he was called Brahma Rishi. Brahma Rishi means that's the last stage. There is no stage beyond that. And he was called Amoghavirya Brahmachari. Not even one in the past. You know, sometimes people come to bhakti and they say, Prabhuji, mujhe brahmacharya palan karna hai. Okay, ab aapko brahmacharya palan karna hai. Pehle? Nahin, pehle to, different thoughts I had. So he was not like that. Not that in between he became some brahmachari like that. He's from the beginning, from the birth, never ever had any thought in his mind. That Amoghavirya Brahmachari, Brahma Rishi, Vibhandaka Rishi, by seeing the Urvashi, he had Retaskalana. Retaskalana, he discharged his semen by seeing that. We have to be very careful when we hear this kind of stories. The modern day people, they make some very loose comments and all this kind of, oh, look at this rishis. And simply they saw an Urvashi and so he had Retaskalana. What is this? What kind of rishis? Before you talk about this incident, Ramayana takes time to tell you who he was. He's Amoghavirya. He's a Brahma Rishi. Swadhyayana, Tapasvi. Why? The Supreme Lord Narayana thought so much tapasya he has done, that tapasya result should reach to common people. There is a reason why it happened again, how common people benefited by this incident. This great, because Supreme Lord uses, there are many reasons when all this kind of incident happened. Now we should not think, oh, for me also there are so many reasons like this. We can never compare the most abominable fallen people like us to Amoghavirya, Maha Tejasvi, Tapasvi, Brahma Rishi like Vibhandaka. No comparison, not even in the dream. It is a will of the Lord that such a Brahma Rishi, Brahmachari had to go through the situation. And then immediately what happened? There was no interaction, there was no talk, there was nothing. She just appeared and immediately the Brahma Rishi, he had this Retaskalana. And then immediately that Retaskalana in that Kaushiki river water, it was Reta Pana. Pana means drinking. There was one deer. In Hindi it's called Hiran. So there was one deer, it was drinking water and it drank the Reta Pana, the Retaskalana of this Rishi, and it became pregnant. Have you ever heard such incidences? These are all very unusual, uncommon. These are all something not generally happen like that. So this is all by the will of the Lord. And then that the deer became pregnant. And then in the Mahabharata, it is all mentioned, the history of the deer. Who is the deer? So this deer was not an ordinary deer. This deer was actually an Apsara in Devaloka. And once this Apsara had done some mistake. And Lord Brahma had become angry for that mistake. So he had cursed, go and take birth as an animal in the Bhuloka. These are all like, demotion for somebody who is in the Devaloka, going to Bhuloka, and there you become an animal. Always being fearful animal is this deer. So go and take birth as a deer there. And then she realized her mistake and she said, Kshama Yachan, please forgive me. Please tell me how my sharp of emotion will happen. So then Brahma said, when you carry the child of a great Brahmarshi, then your sharp of emotion will happen. See, there is a connection, isn't it? So, and now this deer has conceived the child from Vibhandaka Rishi. And after this, again, another thing, when people make loose comments on this kind of incidents, they don't realize after that what happened. So Vibhandaka Rishi, he went on to do more tapasya, he attained higher stages of, tapasya, brahmacharya and all that. Not that he got degraded and, he lost all his tapasya and all. It made him even more become serious. And anyway, so this deer that had become pregnant carried the child and delivered the child in the ashram of Vibhandaka Rishi and died there. So Shapa Vimochana happened and Apsara went back to Devaloka. And the child that was born was something very strange child. This child was a human child with some two Shrunga. Shrunga basically means a horn. That is the meaning of Shrunga. And so the deer belonged to a species that was called Rishya. Rishya is one breed. You have dogs, many breed, right? You say this is one breed, there is another breed. So there are many breeds in deers also. So the deer that had conceived this child belonged to a breed called Rishya. And that this child was born from that Rishya Hiranya, or the deer, and it had this horns, exactly like the deers. So the Vibhandaka Rishi named the child as Rishyashringa. So this is the birth of Rishyashringa. And this child, where is it born? It is born in totally inaccessible forest in the Kaushiki river, like that. So Vibhandaka Rishi was very careful. He said, so much tapasya I did, so strict adhyayana, tapasya, brahmacharya I did, and even then something went wrong with me, and I will make sure my child will become a very special Rishi. He will not have to face any problem. So I will train him. I will give all my experience. I will teach him. So he was taking care of the child. And this child, Rishyashringa, from the birth, he's never seen any human being other than his father. He's never come out of that ashram. They live in such deep jungle. He's never mixed. He doesn't know what is man, what is woman, what is nothing. Basically, he has never seen anything. So he's growing up. This is how this Rishyashringa is growing up. And he is doing so much tapasya. So much tapasya, so much punya and all these things. At this time, the another part of the story that Valmiki Ramayana says is that simultaneously there is a place called Angadesha. Okay. This Angadesha, there are Anga, Kalinga, Vanga, like that. There are Pancha Gauda Deshas. They're called Pancha Gauda Desha. This Bengal is one of the Pancha Gauda Desha. That is why this name Bengal comes from Vanga, Va, Ba. That's are interchangeably used. So that Vanga has become Benga or Banga. So that's how it is Bengal. So Anga, Vanga, Kalinga, like that. There are 5 countries. Kalinga is what? Orissa. The present day Odisha is called Kalinga Desha. So there is Anga. In the Dwapar Yuga we see this Angaraj. Who is Angaraj? So he was a king there. So in the previous Yuga, in the Treta Yuga, this Angadesha was ruled by a king called Romapada. So very great devotee. He's a Maha Vaishnava and he comes in a very great lineage. So one of the very great king of Chandra Vamsha called Yayati. There was a very great king called Yayati. And Yayati had 5 sons, glorious sons. One of the sons is Puru. And in the Puru descendants, Puru dynasty comes this Pandavas. And in the same descendant comes Chandravamsha. In the Yadus is where Lord Krishna appears later. So in that, among the 5 sons, one more son was Anu. And that Anu is a son of Yayati, and in that family dynasty comes this Romapada king. A very good king and very devotee king like that. But even though he was doing such good administration, unfortunately there was drought, no rain. You know how you can imagine the moment there is no rain, the life becomes very difficult, becomes very tough. So somehow with great difficulty they managed one season, that means 1 year, but next year also there is no rain. So you can imagine 2 years consecutively, if there is no rain, how it will be, right? So once they said, every Thursday there will be no water in Pune. There is no sufficient water in the dam, nearby dam, so there will be no water. And they said if there is no sufficient rain, this once in a week will become 2 times in a week, no water. So imagine 2 years if it doesn't rain. So like this, it went on, year after year, year after 12 years there is no rain in the Angadesha. So there is no water for animals, there is no water for human beings. There is no water for drinking, for agriculture and all that. It became very serious. You can't now ignore. There must be some serious problem. See, Shastras, especially in Mahabharata, very beautifully it is mentioned. Raja kalasya karanam. King is responsible for whatever time is going on. If king is good, everything will be good. If king is not good, nothing will be great. So Shastra very clearly says, the time that is going on, good time or bad time, is directly and fully dependent on the Raja, whoever is the head. Raja kalasya karanam. Raja is the karana. Raja is not good, nothing will be good. So, there must be something wrong. Because of King Raja, if something wrong, then people also have to face the problem. So, he called all the Brahmanas to discuss what is the solution. How do we solve this problem? So, all the Brahmanas came and they were thinking, why this situation has come? So, this is something very interesting, very, what is that? We start thinking why only when we go through some problem. Otherwise, we don't think. We don't go back and we don't see, what have I done? So now Romapada is thinking, what have I done? What is my mistake? Have I done any mistake because of this problem? Right? So, a devotee, a Vaishnava, always take opportunity when the difficulties come and the problem come, not to put blame on others. Because of you, see what is going on. All because of you people, useless people like this. The good people never put blame on others. They want to introspect. Intra means going inside you, not going inside somebody else. You have to go inside yourself and check yourself. Find out the reason. So Romapada, he was thinking, what happened? Anything mistake from me? Because finally you have to take the responsibility. Never, no victim, no blame game. So then with the help of the Brahmanas, when they discussed, Romapada was able to remember a great mistake that happened from his side long ago. So once Romapada, this Raja Romapada, he wanted to do yajna. And he called all special Brahmanas to do that yajna. And he called them and he said, oh, all Brahmanas, please come. I invite all of you. Please come, please come. Let's do this yajna. And if you come and do yajna, I will give you all good cows, special cows. I'll give you bhudan. I'll give you this dan. He made so many promises. Number one, Brahmanas never asked anything from Romapada. He himself made this promise. I will do dan. So they all came, they did yajna. And so after yajna got over, this Ramapada said, thank you very much, you all can go back. And Brahmanas went also. They did not ask. When they came also, they didn't ask. And when he told, okay, thank you very much, and you all can go now. So they didn't say anything. They went back. A very important lesson that Shastra says. Asantushta dvija nashtaha. A Brahmana, if he is dissatisfied, then immediately he loses being a Brahmana. See, Shastra is saying, asantushtaha dvija nashtaha. Tushta means satisfaction. Asantushtaha means dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction. Asantushtaha dvijaha. Brahmana's another name is dvija. Dvija. Ja means janma. Dvi means second. Second time taken birth. What is the meaning of second time taken birth? Everybody takes birth. We all have taken birth. But they have taken birth by accepting the Vedic mantras. That is called Diksha. Those who take Diksha, they have taken spiritual birth. Simply taking birth, even animal, dog, cats, everybody take birth. But human beings are told to take second birth. That is spiritual birth. If you are not taken spiritual birth, you are considered as an animal category. So you are taken second birth. Sanskarat bhaved dvijaha. The samskara, diksha samskara has to happen. And they have taken the diksha. So they are called as dvijaha. Asantushta dvijaha. If you are a dissatisfied Brahmana, then nashtaha. You will lose your Brahmanatva. You no more you are a Brahmana. This is a qualification to be a Brahmana. Whatever comes without you asking, you should learn to be happy with that. Yadricha labha santushtaha. Yadrichaha. On its own. Yadrichaha. Without you asking. Without you demanding. On its own it comes. And you just get that and you are happy with that. Why? A Brahmana is completely dependent on the mercy of God. This is a speciality of Brahmanas. Whatever God gives me, I am happy with that. This is one requirement for a being Brahmana. So I have, of course, many people will have this experience. In 2019 or 20, we went to some yatras with some people. So we went to some Kashi, Varanasi. So on the banks of Ganga river, there were so many people sitting. They were calling, come, we will do some puja, we'll do some special puja like that. So we all went, some people went and they were doing some. First of all, they asked, कितना देना है आपको? आप जितना होता है और हम नहीं पूछेंगे, something and all this. Okay, आप 500 दे दीजिए like this. So when they were doing that puja and all this, in between suddenly that person asked, आप 5000 रखो इधर. Yes. अरे आपने नहीं बोला ऐसे, मेरे पास नहीं है 5000. That person became very angry. He became so angry. तुम नरक में जाओगे, तुम ब्राह्मणों को ऐसे बोल रहे हो तुम, like this. And these people were shocked. They were so upset. What is this? I mean, like, हमारे तो 500 की बात हुई थी, 5000 कहाँ से आ गया? नहीं, आपको देना पड़ेगा, ये अधूरी होगा ये पूजा, आपको देना ही होगा. ब्राह्मण लोगों को ऐसा नहीं कर सकती हो तुम, आप दे दो, जाके फ्रेंड्स ले लो, like this. He's literally scolding, like that. God, and this person said, nahi hai. Then that bargaining started. 4000 do. Then finally they settled for some 2000 rupees and they gave 2000. So you are like, with so much, 2000 mein kya aata hai is, like this and all. So asantushta dvijanashta. You are not Brahmana. You cannot ask like this. You cannot be dissatisfied like this. You have lost your qualification of being a Brahmana according to Shastra. So another day we went to another place called Nandaga. So as soon as we got down from the bus and so many people came, Brahman ko daan do, Brahman ko daan do, Brahman ko do. Nahi, hum dena chahte. Of course we come to Tirtha Kshetra. Definitely we do some Brahman ko daan do. So some person so happily took out some 50 rupees note and hey, kya hai? Brahman ko 50 dete ho tum kahan se aa rahe ho? Engineer ho, like, and he said, nahi, itna hi hai, bahut logon ko dena hai. He became so angry, he took that money and he threw off. Nahi chahiye. Kya aayega isme? Like this. Asantushta dvijanashtaha. When you become like this, people will reject you. Forget Shastra rejecting you. Common people will reject. We don't accept such people as Brahmana. That's what happening in the society. So-called Brahmanas have lost their credibility, respectability, acceptability because they've stopped being a life of a Brahmana. Yadricha labha santushtaha. Be happy with whatever it comes. That's what you read in Ramayana. Romapada called. I'll give you this, I'll give you that. They never asked. And he didn't give. That is fine. And they went back. They didn't even say a single word. Not that they were unhappy. They just happily went back. We did our yajan. We did our yajan. Yajan means doing yagna. They went back. But Supreme Lord became unhappy. Whenever we promise something and when we don't do that, especially when you promise to a devotees, Brahmana, real Brahmana means a devotee, Vaishnava. When you think something and when you don't keep that promise, the Lord will not keep quiet. Brahmanas did not ask, they did not quarrel, they just went away. The Supreme Lord was unhappy. He said, you promised something and you didn't give that. So I will not give what I have promised. It is God's promise that He will give rain, sunlight and many things like that. In Bhagavad Gita, we see this. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 3rd chapter, Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavaha. Right? Parjanya means rain. So Krishna says, I send rains. So Krishna said, you promised something you didn't keep up. I will not send what I have promised. So there was no rain. See how mistake done by a king has such an impact. Right? So many politicians come and promise him before elections. Right? There is nothing called whether that promise was kept, fulfilled, whether that happened, did not happen. Such a ghora Kali Yuga. Because everybody thinks that it's okay. It's okay, something you speak. So-called promise you make, so what? But the law of karma will not spare. Especially responsible people make promise and if they don't keep up, the Lord will not spare. So Romapada, he had done this mistake, he realized it. Actually, if you are fortunate, you are able to get exact reason why you are going through a particular problem in your life. Not everybody is fortunate enough. So Romapada realized it. Oh, I have done this mistake because of this 12 years. So till he rectifies, this problem is not going to happen. So then he called all that, whoever he had promised, and he gave whatever he had promised. I'm sorry, I've done a great mistake. I didn't keep up my promise. Please forgive me. So first of all, they were not carrying any grudge. They blessed him and they said. So now that pratibandhaka karma is removed. Right? Then the Brahmana said the only way that can solve this drought, kshama, or drought, there is no rain in your Angadesha, there's only one way. What is that? Great punyatma has to come. Who can command the rain? Simply by putting one step inside your Angadesha, immediately it starts raining. So you have done this mistake of displeasing the Brahmanas. Such a Brahmana has to come now. That such a Brahmana Rishi has to come. By his touch, your Angadesha will become pure. And who is that? That is Rishyashringa. That Rishyashringa has to, if he comes, if he enters, only then there will be rain. Here is this Rishyashringa. How do we bring him? It's not that you simply go and tell him, can you please visit tomorrow? My he will come like that. His father, Brahmarshi, that Vibhandaka Rishi has kept him hidden somewhere in the deep jungle. No access. Never ever any human being has ever gone and seen them. Neither they have seen any human beings. Such a big task it is. So Romapada was thinking, how do I solve this problem? Right? So what did Romapada do to bring Rishyashringa? Did Rishyashringa come to Romapada's Angadesha? What all happened? How did they come? And what is the connection between Romapada bringing Rishyashringa, and that has got to do with Dasharatha Maharaj? All those things we will discuss in tomorrow's session. We'll stop here. Shri Valmiki Ramayana ki Jai. Shri Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.